Okay, so you should now have 21 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Perfect. All right. And sorry if that last little clip was at an angle. I was sitting weird, so hopefully this will be better. We're going to do 2 single crochet, decrease again all the way around, and then we'll single crochet in that last stitch because it doesn't add up perfectly. So 2 single crochet, decrease, and then you should have 1 single crochet left, and you will do a single crochet in that stitch. And I will meet you back here. You should have 16 stitches, so be sure to count. All right, and for round 17, we're going to be attaching the arms. So get both of your arms, and when attaching them, make sure you're aware of where your color changes, and we're going to face that down. So whenever you're sewing your arms on, just kind of play with the placement. Sometimes it's better to use one arm over the other. Mine look pretty similar on the back, so it really wouldn't matter. But for this round, we are going to do 3 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, and then we will be attaching the arms, so make sure that color change is facing down again. And to attach the arms, I'm going to put my hook through that first single crochet, and it takes a little manipulating, and then we're going to go through the next single crochet we would have crocheted in. So hope I have mine wonky. Don't twist your yarn. So through the arm, through the body, and do a single crochet as normal, and just pull that tail out of the way. I like to tie my tails together for the 2 arms. Now if you do this row and the arms are wonky, so you're going to continue doing that single crochet through the arm and through the body, and that's how we will attach it. You're going to do that all the way down the arm. But if you go to do that and your tension is completely different than mine, you can move the arms depending on how they need to. So if you get done and they look really weird, just adjust them. As long as you don't change the stitch count from 16, you'll be fine. So after we attach that arm, we do 5 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochet. Now we're going to grab that second arm, making sure that color change is face down. We're going to go through the arm, and then we're going to go through the body and pull that. I'm going to pull that yarn tail inside. There we go. Let's go through the body, and we're going to do 4 more crochet, single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and you should have 16 stitches. And I like to take the arms and kind of tie them together. You don't have to tie it very tight, but just so they're connected. And just kind of eyeball and see how your arms look. If they look even, then leave them there. And then on the next row, we're going to be doing decreases all around. So do 8 invisible decreases. So 1, and you should end up with 8 stitches. That's 1, and I will meet you back here. So grabbing those front loops, do a decrease, and then meet me back here. Okay, and you may, hopefully you didn't make the same mistake I did. I forgot to stuff because I didn't have it near me, but make sure you stuff the body. If you have to pull out a stitch or 2 and stuff it, go ahead and do that. But stuff the body full. I mean, it's 8 stitches, you probably can get it in there. You'll still be able to get in there, just fill up most you can. And I mean, look at this. What am I doing? Move that out of the way. So just stuff. make sure to stuff that belly really good, because he does have a little round belly. So make sure to do that. Sometimes I feel like the stuffing just never really ends, you know? All right. My guy's nice and chunky. Excuse my husband. Okay, and round 19, we're going to do increases all around. And so you'll have 16 stitches again. So we basically just made a little neck. So just 2 single crochets in each stitch all the way around, and you'll end up with 16 stitches. So meet me back here. Okay, so for round 24, we're gonna do single crochet, and then we're gonna increase, and we're gonna do that all the way around. So we just did our single crochet, we're gonna increase, single crochet, increase, and then I'll meet you back here. You should end up with 24 stitches. Okay, so making sure you have 24 stitches for round 20. Round 21, we're gonna do 5 single crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to increase and just repeat that 3 more times. You'll end up with 28 stitches, and I'll meet you back at the end. Okay, so making sure you have 28. Rounds 22 and 23 are just going to be 1 single crochet around in every stitch, so 2 rounds of 28 single crochet. Okay, so for round 24, we're gonna do 5 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to decrease, and we're going to repeat that 3 more times, and we'll end up with 24 stitches. On round 25, we're just going to single crochet around for 24 stitches, and on your last stitch, color change to white, and we will be doing the head icing. Okay, I just had to rip it all out, so my stitches are going to be a little skewed. I was way too close, and I was going off the camera. Okay, so on this round, we're going to be adding the icing, and we're going to be doing the spike stitch. So to prevent any holes in the head, so sorry if you hear my husband and my son, they're loud, but to prevent any holes in the head like this one has, this was my original version, we're going to be adding some slip stitches. So in order to counteract the slip stitch, we're going to do a decrease. So we're going to repeat the same thing around. We're going to slip stitch into that back loop, and then we're going to do a spike stitch. So a spike stitch is basically just instead of going in your normal crochet here, like your normal loops under those, we're going to go down a row. So we can go here, or you can go in here, however far down you want to go. And we're gonna basically just do a double crochet like normal. So here's that front loop. You want it to be close in line with that. So we just did that slip stitch in the back loop. And now we're going to yarn over. I'm gonna go down 1, you can go down 2, and you just do a double crochet like normal. And then make sure your tension is not too tight, otherwise your head is gonna get all deformed. And now we do an invisible decrease, and now we slip stitch in that back loop. Oops. And then we're going to do that spike stitch again. So this time I'm going to go down 2. So that would be 1 right here. And this time I'm going to go down 2. And double crochet as normal. Do that invisible decrease. And then we're going to slip stitch in that back loop. And now we're going to do that spike stitch again. So double crochet. And I like to alternate. I think it looks pretty good. You can do them all long, all short, however you like. Just be careful in the front. If you do long in the front, sometimes it interferes with the eyes. So just be aware of that, or have an idea where you want to place your head. Your eyes are going to be in between rows 23 and 24. About 5 stitches apart. Okay, so we did that spike stitch. Now we're going to do that invisible decrease. Now we're gonna slip stitch in that back loop. And if you got the hang of it, go ahead and fast forward. I'm just gonna continue to talk through the whole row. Now we're gonna do that double crochet. Oops, I wanted to do a long one here. We'll do a long one. So just going over 2 rows, and make sure if you're doing the long ones just to keep your attention loose so you don't deform the head. Now I do that invisible decrease, slip stitch in the back loop, do your spike stitch, so your double crochet. And now you're going to do your decrease, and then your slip stitch in that back loop, do your spike stitch. So around the buttons, I would just keep them short. To each their own though, you do you. And then do your invisible decrease, slip stitch in that back loop, do your double crochet spike stitch, then you do that invisible decrease, maybe, there we go, and then you're going to slip stitch in that back loop. And then I'm going to do a long one here. You can even go down 3 rows if you want. Like if you want to get crazy, you can do that. And then you should be ending with a decrease. And then you're going to pull back up that brown yarn. And on round 27, you're going to do 1 single crochet. So I'm going to go ahead and crochet over my white yarn a little bit. And then you can do 1 single crochet and then a decrease. And I'm going to stop here and cut off my white yarn and tie my ends together. And I believe we're done with our white yarn. So I just like to tie my ends together. I crochet over them a little bit too, just for extra security. So we're going to single crochet decrease all the way around, and you'll end up with 6 stitches. So that was 2. So we're going to do another single crochet, and it can be kind of hard because you have a bunch of slip stitches, but it'll be all right. My son, I don't know if you'll be able to hear him or not, but my husband's doing his best trying to keep him quiet, but he's a loud boy. But I'll meet you back here with 16 stitches. Okay, so for round 28, you're going to do a single crochet in every stitch for 16 single crochets around, and then start stuffing your head. Oh, I forgot to repeat it again, but after you can do it now too, it won't really matter. Go ahead and add your eyes at rows 23 and 24, about 5 stitches apart. And then if you want to do a mouth and blush, go ahead and do all of that. You kind of have an idea of how the head is shaped now. We have 2 more rows. So just make sure you go ahead and do that before you start stuffing. 8, and that's just 16 single crochets around. I had said that already, but then I wanted to make sure that you did not forget to add the eyes. So once you finish your 16 crochet, you're going to do 8 decreases. And after that, you will fasten off and we'll finish stuffing the head and close it up. And I can show you how I like to close it to make it flat at the top of the head. So let me do my 8 decreases and then I'll meet you back here. Okay, so after you did your 8 decreases here, let me get rid of all my yarn. You should look like this. Make sure your head is stuffed nice and round. And just make sure you stuffed enough, but not, you know, pulling your stitches apart. So my guy's nice and round. It looks a little weird because we still have this open. So to close, you grab your yarn needle, and I like to weave in and out my front loops. So I go in that last one I decreased in because it's right here. So I go down and then I go back up, and I'm just going through the front loops. I'm going in and out, weaving, so like that. And then when I pull it closed, it makes it nice and flat. And I'm gonna check and make sure I don't want to add any more stuffing before I close it. And I feel like I can still add some, so I'm gonna do that. And then we'll cinch the hole closed, the most satisfying part. And then we will do our bow. So, okay, we'll just do that. All right, then pull it closed. And then I just weave my yarn tail under. And I make sure it lays nice and flat and blends in. And then I just like to weave in and out just for some security. And I try to make sure it doesn't look odd. And I will tie a random knot in it. So I go find a stitch this is just me being paranoid, like hidden. And then I'll tie a knot. And then I'll make sure to pull that knot under. And you know, I've always done it this way because I'm just paranoid, but I don't know if it really makes a difference because you tied a knot when you tied it off. But anywho, all right, that's good enough weaving for me. And now shove it inside, and I have these ginormous scissors because all my stuff's out in the living room. I try to like crochet a little bit with my son around, but half the time it doesn't even, I don't get much done. I try to do like the little octos because they're like quick and I can sneak one in when he's distracted for like a whole 5 minutes, you know. But yeah, here we finished our guy. And if you like him like this, you're done. But let me go grab some yarn for the bow and I will show you how I do that. Okay, so this is the hardest part of the thing, and it's really hard to write it out. That's why making videos is nice, because I can just show you. So grab your yarn, and I have this pom-pom, because I'm going with a pom-pom theme. I'm gonna have to see if I can pull up any pom-pom colors here, but anywho, put a slip knot, on your yarn and leave a tail, maybe about like 3 to 4 inch tail. This is probably more than I need. And then, you know, make it smaller. And if you are able to follow the pattern, you're going to find this middle stitch here and you're going to skip that stitch. So you should have 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 between the arms. I'm going to try and talk louder because my husband So we're going to go to the stitch to the left here. So you see this is the middle one. We're going to skip that and go under this one. So we're going to pull up that slip stitch here. And we're going to chain 2. So 1, and it's kind of easier if you turn your head. It's kind of hard because your head's so bulky. But chain 2, and then okay, so we did our chain 2 here. My yarn was tangled, so we're going to do a double crochet under that stitch, and then we're going to go, there should be 1 more single crochet in front of the arm. Kind of pull your tail out of the way. We're going to use that later. So you should have 1 more before you get to the arm, and we're just going to do a single crochet in that. So do a single crochet, and then we're gonna go back into the original one we just did and do one more double crochet. And now this one is a little tricky. I'm trying to make sure I can show you. There we go. You might have to do like some poking and pull it up a little bit, but do your double crochet and then do a chain 2 and then slip stitch in that. And I have to turn my little gingerbread man like all about when I'm doing this because you just have to manipulate it. So do a slip stitch and then make sure your bow looks like this. It should be like half of a bow essentially. And chain 1 and just pull that chain tight. There we go. And then cut off another 3 to 4 inch tail and kind of pull all that aside. And we're going to repeat that for the other side. So it should look like this here. So put another slip knot on your hook. Not on your hook, but I like to use my hook to tighten it. Okay, so now we're going to skip that middle stitch again, and we're going to go to the first one to the right. So you see we have this one here, and then you have one more, and we're going to be using both of those. So we're going to repeat the same thing. So pull up your slip knot, chain 2, 1, 2, we're going to double crochet around it. And I'm going to link the original video I did for the pattern, double crochet, and it's just me explaining it again, but maybe that one will be a little better. And then now we're going to go do that single crochet in that stitch behind it, and this is just so the bow lays flat. And then after we do that single crochet, we double crochet back into it, and I don't like holding my yarn because I need all the help I can get getting into it. And I mean, you could totally do a bow and then sew it on, but I was making it no sew. And sometimes I feel like it's probably just easier just to sew it on, you know? Because you don't have to go in and out of your stitches. Like, it's getting... Jeez. There we go. It's getting hung up on a random stitch. So do your double crochet, then do your chain 2, and I feel like every time I try to record something, every mistake happens. And then we're going back in that original single crochet. I don't know, you guys tell me, is it easier just to sew on the dang bow? I also thought about making one with ties, so you know, you could be a little interactive toy and just tie it around his neck. So I think that would be cute too. All right. And then you do your chain 2, and then you slip stitch back into that original, and then chain 1. And that chain 1 is just to make a knot essentially and secure it. It's also a lot harder with this pom-pom yarn because I feel like the pom-pom yarn has no give versus the parfait chunky. I don't know. Makes it a little textured. All right, so now we have our bow here, and we have to essentially cover up this single crochet we have left out here. So grab your yarn tails, and this is why you left them a little long, and I like to go under, and then we're going to go out right above where that single crochet is, and we're just gonna basically sew over it. So you can sew and then pull it out the back. You should be able to do each tail once, and that should be enough. If it's not, then do your longer ones multiple times. You're basically just covering up that single crochet. So that's why I'm like, it probably would just be easier to sew on. I don't know. And then now this one's at a good spot, so I'm just going to go up and down. And make sure you come out the same hole. That way you can knot them out. Or knot them out. Knot them and then push them back in. So yeah, with one set of yarn tails, I have it covered essentially. So I'm going to do the same thing though, just for extra security. So this one, oh, it's like literally right there. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to go over out a different stitch because I'll sew those together. Yeah. Let's do this one up and down the other way. Okay. All right. And as you could see, like where it's pulled apart, you can see a little bit. So I'm going to take this one and go down, and then I'm going to come up and sew it again here, just to really secure it. I don't know, because kids like to get nosy and start pulling at stuff, you know? Not that my 18-month-old would care at all. Okay, and then now get all your poofs out of the way if you're using Parfait Chunky. And essentially your little guy is done here. Okay, he looks really cute with his little sprinkles bow. Like, how cute is he? Sorry. Let me zoom out a little bit. Oh, look how cute he is. Oh my gosh, I love him. But yes, knot your ends here and shove them in, and you'll be done. Okay, guys, your gingerbread man is finished. How cute is he? Look at him with his little sprinkles. Oh my goodness, I love him. He says, bye. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Market days are coming up, so market day vlogs will be back. Bye.